We have an online exam after this, so we're going to discuss first the module 3 and around a few more section or half the section of module 3. Then we're going to have an exam on uh, first exam, online exam for module 1 and 2. Okay, so let's start. Okay, section 3 to 5 is usually focuses on the network security. Okay, module 3 is more of theoretical concept of the network security concepts. Okay, so okay, so let's start. Okay, so this is a long module. Okay, so topic content would be the current state of cybersecurity. So it will describe the state of cybersecurity and vectors of data loss. We have also for the threat actors describe the use of threat actors to exploit the network. We have different types of malware also being covered here. Uh, describes common network attacks, IP vulnerabilities and threats, TCP/IP and UDP vulnerabilities. You have the IP services. You have also the network security best practices, and last part would be the cryptography. Okay, describes common cryptographic process to protect data in transit. Okay, so right now you're usually heard about uh, what's that? Data breaches, even from big companies, even from security companies, like for example Microsoft 2 months ago, and lately sa Uber accounts were being leaked. Okay, so na yung mga data breaches. Okay, so common kanina siya karon. Usually mo niya to tawag na more bitaw possible trend in the future where mga security breaches are always kuan na rampant na kayo. Okay? So it's very important to learn about this type of mga exploit. Okay? So in this module, learners may be exposed to tools and techniques in a sandbox virtual machine environment to demonstrate various types of cyber attacks. Experimentation of these tools, considering using attack tools for educational purposes only. They should contact their instructor prior to the experimentation. So unauthorized access to data from the computer network system is a crime in many jurisdictions and often is accompanied by a severe consequences. Regardless of the perpetrator's motivation, it is the learner's responsibility as a user of this material to be cognizant and compliant to computer use of law. Okay, so what we're going here, what we're going to learn is more about uh, detecting the flow. There are some tools here that usually that is used for hacking or sniffing data that crosses your network. Usually it can be kuan man gud kanang pwede siya makuan ba. Sa tawag na uh, use for different kuan kanang use for hacking ba na or use for getting data, getting a password, which is hindi na siya dapat. Okay, so that is a bad habit. But if you want to learn about how you're going to protect your network with those type of threats or those vulnerabilities, you need to know also the how they work. Okay, so on niya siya pag-process. Sa process na niya. Okay, so the current state of cybersecurity now. Okay, cyber criminals now have expertise and tools necessary to take down critical infrastructure and system. Other tools and techniques continue to evolve. Okay, so maintaining a secure network ensures the safety of network user and protects commercial interests. All users should be aware of security terms. Okay, what we have here is mga terms common to describe. Okay, when it comes to security sa system or network. We have what we call the asset. So asset is anything of a value over to the organization. So this includes the people, equipment, resources, and most importantly, the data. Okay? So data yung pinaka biggest asset. Okay. So vulnerability is a weakness in a system or its design that could be exploited by a threat. Okay. A threat is usually a potential danger to a company's asset, data, or network functionality. So exploit is a mechanism that takes advantage of the vulnerability. Okay. We have what we call the mitigation, which is a countermeasure that reduces the likelihood or severity of potential threat or risk. So network security involves multiple mitigation techniques, and we have what we call the risk, which is the likelihood of a threat to exploit the vulnerability of an asset with the aim of negative affecting an organization. So risk is measured using the probability of the occurrence of the event and its consequences. So vectors of network attack is a path by which a threat actor can gain access to a server or computer or workstation or even the network devices or network equipment. So attack vectors originate from the inside or outside. Could be from your inside your company. Okay, mo na itong tawag ko internal threats. Okay, kana maggikan sa sud. Okay, nasa tawag na outside threats which are come from the internet or outside from your organizational network. Okay, so internal threats have the potential to cause greater damage than external threat because internal users have direct access to the building and infrastructure devices. So mas kuyaw gyud ang internal kaysa external. Okay? So data loss or data exfiltration is when the data is intentionally or unintentionally lost or stolen or leaked to outside world. So data loss can result in a brand damage and lost reputation, loss of competitive advantage, loss of customer, loss of revenue, and litigation and legal action resulting in fines and civil penalties. So significant cost and effort to notify affected parties and recover from the breach. Network security professional must protect organizational data. Various data loss prevention controls must be implemented which combine strategic, operational, and tactical measure. Okay. So data loss is one of the most problem right now sa cybersecurity. Okay, you would know na dagan kay mga leakages. Even kanang ato if you receive some text message, and bitong na yung mga advertisement, okay, mga unsolicited na mga text messages. Okay, way labot ng NTC kanang mga NTC na information like there will be possible flood or ana, okay, that is kanang government na kuan compliance na they need to send text messages to within the area, whoever within the location kana ma-detect sa atong cellular provider. Okay? But if you receive certain like, for example, katong sa election, daghan kay mga text messages those days. Okay? They even know asa ka na present, asa ka na location, sa lugar. Okay? So, that's the time na mo bitaw ma-feeling mo na no kabaw mo sila sa akong pangalan or no kabaw mo sila sa akong present number or location asa ka mo vote. Okay? Those are mga examples sa mga data breaches. Okay? So whenever your information is being leaked out or let's say baligya kasagaran na baligya gina, okay, baligya na dito sa mga kanabitaw mga advertiser uh, those type of na pwede nila masendan ng information like that. Okay, so they can be informed based on kuan. Then usually ang sender side usually mag-change yung number or any number, random number, then it keeps you sending mga text messages na like loans or usually na siya pakapin na link so be careful with those link kasi Maklik mo directly from your phone ang link. Okay, your phone could be compromised. Okay, so you should be careful. Okay. We have also what we call the email or social networking. Okay, so what the email social networking is intercepted email or instant messaging message could be captured or reveal confidential information. So unencrypted devices, if the data is not stored using an encryption algorithm, then the thief can retrieve valuable confidential data. We have what we call the cloud storage devices, which is sensitive data can be lost if access to the cloud is compromised due to weak security settings. Removable media. This is one risk is that the employee could perform unauthorized transfer of data to the USB. So another risk is that the USB drive containing valuable corporate data could be lost. We have also the hard copy, which is confidential data should be shredded when no longer required. Improper access to control. So using the naman default password or weak password, which have been compromised, can provide threat actor with easy access to corporate data. Section 2 is about threat actors. Okay. So hacker is common term used to describe a threat actor. Okay. So we have three different types of hacker, okay, or the threat actor. Okay, so natay tawag na white hat, which are ethical hackers, when we say ethical, who use the programming skills for good, ethical, and legal purpose. Security vulnerabilities are reported to developers to fix them before vulnerabilities can be exploited. Okay. We have also what we call the gray hackers. These individuals who commit crimes and do arguably unethical things, but not for personal gain or cause damage. So gray hackers may disclose a vulnerability to affect organization after having compromised their network. Then we have the black hat hackers. These are unethical criminals who compromise computer and network security for personal gains. Okay, so mo siya katong mang-hack na, mang-ransom na, okay? So personal gains or malicious reasons such as attacking networks. Okay? So we have certain mga terms that is used sa atong mga hackers. Okay, natay tawag na script kid. These are teenagers or inexperienced hackers running existing script tools and exploit to cause harm, but typical not for profit. Okay. We have also what we call the vulnerability broker. So these are usually gray hat hackers who attempt to discover exploit and report them to vendors. Sometimes they get to the prizes or rewards, just like what Google do. Okay, they invite hackers to hack their system, and every time na sila makuhaan, na sila makita vulnerabilities, they could get the prize. Okay, they will be paid based on mga mga loopholes or mga weakness sa ilang system, okay, security. You have also what we call the hacktivist. So hacktivists are usually also a gray hat hackers who publicly protest organization or government by posting articles, videos, leaking sensitive information, and perform network attacks. Then you have also the cyber criminals. These are black hat hackers who are either self-employed or working for large cybercrime organization. Okay. Then we have the state sponsored. Okay, when state sponsored are either white or black hackers who steal government secrets, gather intelligence, and sabotage network. These targets are foreign governments, terrorist groups, and usually corporations. So most countries in the world participate to some degree of what we call the state-sponsored hacking. It is estimated that cyber criminals steal billions of dollars from consumers and businesses. So cyber criminals operate in an underground economy where they buy, sell, and trade attack toolkits, zero-day exploit, bootnet services, banking trojans, keyloggers, and much more. They also buy and sell the private information and intellectual property they steal. So cybercriminals target small businesses and consumers as well as large enterprise and entire industry. For hacktivists, two example of activist groups are Anonymous. I think you heard that. This is a global kuan, the group, okay, which is consists of mga hackers, okay, and you have also the Syrian Electronic Army. Although most activist groups are not well organized, they can cause significant problems for governments. Businesses, activists tend to rely on fairly basic, freely available tools. State-sponsored hackers create advanced, customized attack code, often using previously undiscovered software vulnerabilities, which is called a zero-day vulnerability. Example of state-sponsored attack involves the Stuxnet malware that was created to damage Iran nuclear enrichment capabilities. Okay. Section 3 was threat actor tools. Okay, ay panggamit ani. Okay. There will be a video on our course Natakad. So just watch it later. So to exploit a vulnerability, a threat actor must have a technique or tool. Over the years, attack tools have become more sophisticated and highly automated. So these new tools requires less technical knowledge to implement. Okay. Table highlights the common penetration testing tools. Notice how some tools are used by white hat and also black hats. Keep in mind that this list is not exhaustive, that new tools are always being developed. Okay? Natin tawag na tool na password crackers. So password crackers tools are often referred as a password recovery tools that can be used to crack or recover a password. So password crackers repeatedly make guesses in order to crack a password. Example password cracking tools are John the Ripper or Prac, Locktrack, HC Hydra, Rainbow Crack, and Medusa. Okay. So you have also what they call wireless hacking tools. So wireless hacking tools are used to intentionally hack into wireless network to detect security vulnerabilities. Example here are Aircrack NG, Kismet, in SSTier, and Kismat, Reship, and Vstumber. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of tools for hacking. Okay, network scanning and hacking tools used to probe network devices, servers, and hosts for open ports sa imong transport layer. Okay, o say open sa imong TCP or UDP ports sa imong server. Example for scanning tools are Nmap. Nmap is very kanang koan, very widely used. Okay, you have also the super scan. Okay, you have the Angry IP scanner. IP scanner is usually very useful tool also to detect live devices in the network. Okay, you have also the net scan tools. Again, these tools are not usually kwan ha kanang yung they are being created for bad intention, but some of these are usually useful for sa mga administration. Okay. You have also the packet crafting tools. These tools are used to probe and test firewalls robustness using specially crafted forged packet. Example include HPing, Scapy, Sukat, Yersinia, Netcat, Nenping, and Nemesis. Okay. The Netcat and Netping, okay, and HPing here are kalang common useful tool or more kuan siya, known tool. You have also the packet sniffer. Okay, these tools are used to capture and analyze with traditional Ethernet LANs or wireless LAN. So tools include Wireshark. So Wireshark is very common because it's also added with other tool. Okay, embed. You have TCP dump. You have EtherCap, DSNIF, Ether8, Paros, Fiddler, Rat Proxy, and SSL strip packet sniffer. Okay, when I say packet sniffer, you're going to capture some certain packet, then look what's inside the packet. Okay, or uh, yes. Okay, then we have a rootkit detector. Okay, so rootkit is a directory and file integrity checker used by White Hat to detect installed rootkits. Example tools include AAD, NetFilter, PF, and OpenBSD packet filter. You have also the fuzzer to search. Fuzzers are tools used by threat actors to discover a computer security. Okay. Include an example is Skipfish, WAPT, and W3AF. You have also the forensic tools. Tools are used by white hackers to sniff any outlays of evidence existing in a computer. Example is Lootkit, Helix, and Incase. Then we have the debuggers, tools that used by black hats to reverse engineer binary files when writing exploit. They're also used by white hats when analyzing a malware. So debugging tools include GDB, WinDBG, IDA Pro, and Immunity Debugger. Okay, hacking operating system. Okay, most of these system are specially designed, okay, for with preloaded the tools to optimize hacking. Okay, the most common here is what we call Kali Linux. Okay, we also have Backbox Linux. Okay, most of the operating system with the hacking operating system is usually based on Linux. Okay, because it's open and free, and say it's not just open. You can really dali ra ka mo create individually. Okay, dali ra ka maka unsa na, build your own, okay, back end system. Okay, you have encryption tools used for algorithm scheme to encode data to prevent unauthorized access to encrypted data. Example, these tools are VeraCrypt, CipherShred, Open Secured Shell, OpenSSL, Tor. Tor is very common sa kanatong browser. We have also OpenVPN and Stanel. Okay, so most of these tools are usually open ni siya na base. So what I mean by kanang bitang gitawag ko kuan free and open source mga nana. Okay. You have also the vulnerability exploit tools. These tools identify whether a remote host is vulnerable for security attacks. Example here is exploitation tools include Metaexploit, Core Impact, SQL Map, Social Engineering Toolkit, and NetSpark. Vulnerability scanners. These tools can scan a tools or network to identify open ports. They can also be used to scan for known vulnerabilities and VM. So bring your own devices and client databases. Example of the tools is Sniper, Core Impact, Nisu Saint, and OpenBus. We have here a table of attack types. Okay, so we have the eavesdropping attack. So this is when a threat actors captures and listen to the network. This attack is also referred as sniffing and snooping. Okay, eavesdropping attack. We have also what we call the data modification attack. So threat actors capture the enterprise traffic and they can alter the data in the packet without the knowledge of the sender. Okay. IP address snooping attack is a threat actor construct an IP packet that appears to originate from a valid address inside the corporate internet. We have also what we call the password-based attack, which is the threat actor will discover a valid username. The threat actor have the same rights as a real user. The threat actors could use the valid account to obtain list of other users from the network information. Change server and network configuration and modify or reroute or delete data. Okay, so we have also one of the most common attacks now, which is the DOS or denial of service. So DOS attack prevents normal use of computer or network by a valid user. So denial of service attack can flood the computer or the entire network itself. So with traffic until shutdown occurs because the overloaded. Okay, denial of service can also block traffic, which results in a loss of access to network resources and by authorized user. Okay. So what will happen with the denial of service is that more bitong ma-overwhelm yung service or yung server or yung computer with mga request. Okay. So what will happen is ma-overwhelm, wala na lain makasud of kanabitong na legit na request padong sa server because it's busy processing requests from a denial of service. We have also what we call the man in the middle. So this is very common for kanang kuha og mga information or even kanang pagkuha og password sa imong Wi-Fi. So this attack occurs when the threat actors have positioned themselves in between the source and destination. So they can actively monitor or capture and even control the application transparently. We have also what we call the compromised key attack is a threat actor obtains a secret. The key is referred to a compromised key. A compromised key can be used to gain access to secure communication without sender or receiver being aware of the attack. We have also what we call the sniffer attack. It's an application or a device that can read, monitor, capture network data exchange, and read network packets. If the packets are not encrypted, a sniffer provides a full view of data inside the packet. Okay, start with the malware. Okay, section 4. So now that you know about the tools that hackers use, this topic introduces you to the different types of malware that hackers use to gain access to end devices. So end devices are particularly prone to malware attacks. It is important to know about the malware because threat actors rely on users to install malware to help explore the security gaps. Okay? So, kamo may explore mo sa internet, you're doing the research, be careful of those link na kanabitong na click here na you need to know the source. You need to look for the sa na iyahang certificate. Okay, if is ang iyang certificate is kanang sitaw kanang ah secure ba, validated ba iyang certificate. Okay, makita man na nimo sa kuan iyang sa iyang sa kanang sa iyang address ba. Okay, above or example here, example as you can see here. So to ang sitaw ani LMS. Okay, you need to look for the root domain. Okay, sakto ba? Okay, so naiuban dira na copy lang ang site. Then it looks like the same with the site that you usually use. Okay, example like nani. You need to look for this key site information. Look for the certificate here. Okay, so certificate should be checked. Okay, check nimo asa gikan. Okay, so these are issued from the Amazon. Okay, so aside from that, if it is registered under sa Amazon, so usually sila na provide sa certificate or sila sa nagkuhan ani. Sila yung nag-host. Okay? So usually dili na nimo makita. Naiuban sa kasagaran that invalid or let's say you're not using a secure connection. Okay? Which means your data that passes from your computer padung sa destination or to the server is usually unencrypted. Okay, so that could be also a problem. Okay, okay. So naiuban na even though naiuban na na part sa web is that even though na walay description na click here or something na sometimes na yung mga clickable part na it can trigger that a tool will run to your browser. Okay, so that's also one thing that it would kana bitaw compromise imong browser and computer is through the browser that you are exploring certain sites na ay mga daghan kay mga malware. Okay, so mo na siya tawagan itong malware. Okay, so ang kuan gid sa malware, ang primarily kuan niya, ang yan target is kanang user na masayop o click, masayop o install, mga nana. Okay, so what will happen? It will be installed in computer without knowing. For example, common kani siya sa mga kanabitang na yung mga free if you're looking for a certain application which is free. Yeah, naibutang dra or kana mga download or mga movies, mga nana or mga serial codes sa mga application. Usually common kaya siya sa mga nana because since you're looking for a free, natagan ka ng mga link dira na this is your software that you're looking for, then i-click nimo lain ang ni-install mga nana. Okay, So you should be careful. Okay. So the first and most common type of computer malware is a virus. So viruses require human action to propagate and infect other computers. So virus hides by attacking itself to the computer code, okay, software or documents on the computer. So when opened, the virus execute and infects the computer. So what does it do? It could alter or corrupt or delete files or erase the entire drive. Can also cause computer booting issues and corrupted application. Capture and send sensitive information to threat actors. Access and use email account to spread. Lay dormant until summoned by threat actor. Okay. So modern viruses are developed from specific intents, such as those listed in the table. You have the boot sector virus, which attack the boot sector, the file partition, or the file system itself. You have also the firmware viruses, which attacks the device firmware. You have you have your macro, which uses the MS Office macro feature maliciously. Have you used the macro? Macro settings, adding a script inside your document, like document or Excel. Okay, you can also do that since pwede makaparan of script. You can add a macro virus to certain application like Word and Excel. Okay, program viruses. You have inserted itself another executable program. Okay, script viruses, which attack the OS interpreter, which is used to execute script. Okay, so based on my experience, I usually don't install mga virus or other kind of third party because usually those are the application that can cause you problem later on. Okay? So these companies at kasagaran na nila, sila ra say mag-develop sa ilang own virus so that ang ilang antivirus may maka-prevent or maka-detect. Okay? So na yung mga nanang instance. Okay? So threat actors use Trojan horses also to compromise hosts. Trojan horse is a program that looks useful but carries malicious code. So Trojan horse are often provided with free online programs such as computer games. There are several types of Trojan horses as described in the table. Okay. So natitawag remote access enables unauthorized remote access. Data sending of information which is sends sensitive data such as password could be destructive like it corrupts or delete files. It could use a proxy, which use victim's computer as a source device to launch attack and perform other activities. Okay. We have also an FTP, which enables unauthorized file transfer to the end devices, or a security software disable, which stops antivirus program or firewalls from functioning, or DOS, denial of service, slows or holds the network activity, or even worse, which is keylogger, which is actively attempts steal confidential information such as credit card numbers or recording keystrokes entered to the web form. Okay. Other types of malware, we have adware. Adware is usually distributed by downloading online software. So adware can display unsolicited advertisement using pop-ups sa web browser. New toolbars, kana makita nimo toolbar sa inyong to na yung magawa sa toolbar na mag-install kag application na free pero pag humani mo naka-notice ng kanana kay pa kung toolbar day na-add sa imong browser. Those are mga examples sa mga adware. Okay? So pop-up windows may be difficult to control as new windows can pop up faster than the user can close them. Okay? So whenever na mo pop up, pasubutan na ning access siya na ning run na siya na link. Okay? So you have also the ransomware typical denies user access to their files by encrypting the files and displaying message demanding ransom. Uh, Users with up-to-date backups must pay the ransom to decrypt the files. Payment is usually made using wire transfer or cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. Okay. So, common sa ni siya ang ransomware karon. Okay? You're going to encrypt your file, then hatagan pa ang instruction on how to pay. Okay? Na mo na mo pop up sa inyong access nimo sa certain file or even ka mga database. Okay? You have also the what we call the rootkits. These are used by that actor to gain administrator control level to a computer. Okay, they are very difficult to detect because they can alter firewall. Okay, ilang allow uncertain access. Okay, nana kinamos say access firewall. Can also reconfigure antivirus that allows those rootkit to run under your system, or even OS commands to conceal their presence. They can provide a backdoor to threat actors, giving them access to PC and allowing them to upload files and install new software to be used in denial of service. Special rootkit removal tool must be used to remove them, or complete OS reinstall will be required. Okay. So since this runs sa imong backend sa imong OS, that's why you need to kuan gid. You need ang removal process ani is usually mag-restart yung computer and it will run for a third party. Then before niya matangtang, or you could do the reinstallation of OS. Dapat i-pre-format sa limitanan. We have also what we call the spyware. So like adware, it's used to gather information about the user, just to send threat actors without the user consent. Okay, spyware can be low threat, just gathering browsing data, or it can be high threat, capturing personal financial function. Okay. So Google's and Facebook are usually a type of spyware site because usually they usually di ko na ilang ang imong di pang kuan mo ko na kanimong pang search ilan na siyang nanasly system ana itawag na ma-define ka asa na ka mabilong unsay usual di pang search nimo unsay di pang pangita nimo unsay di pang baligya nimo sa Facebook like na okay unsay mga groups join what type of community unsay di pang like nimo those are mga kanang mga information which is very kuan gamit kayo sa mga advertiser, sa marketers, na pwede na nila mabaligya. Okay? So, advice ko ninyo if you're using this type of application like Facebook, don't use your real name, don't post real name or information about name or about some other people's. Okay? So, be discreet on posting. Okay? Next, we have a worm type na malware, which is a self-replicating program that propagates automatically without user action by exploiting vulnerabilities in legitimate software. It uses network to search for other victims with the same vulnerability. The intent of worm is usually to slow or disrupt your network operation by consuming the resources in network or even in computer. Okay. Okay, common network attack. So this would be our last section sa. Then we'll continue on in the next meeting. Okay. So common network attacks here. We have when a malware is delivered and installed, the payload can be used to cause variety of network-related attacks. So mitigate attacks. It is useful to understand the types of attack. By categorizing network attacks, it is possible to address types of attack rather than individual attack. So network are susceptible to the following attacks. Okay, reconnaissance, access attacks, denial of service. Reconnaissance is an information gathering. Threat actors use reconnaissance or recon attacks to do unauthorized discovery, mapping of the system, services, and or vulnerabilities. Recon attacks precede access attacks or denial of service attack. Some techniques used by malicious threat actors to conduct reconnaissance attack are described in this table. So, technique of performing information query of a target. Threat actor is looking for initial information about the target. So, various tools can be used, include Google searches, organizational website, and who is and other information. We have also the initial ping sweep of the target. The information query usually reveals the target network address. The threat actor can now initiate ping sweep to determine which IP addresses are active or alive sa network, or which addresses are responding for ping requests. You have also the initiate a port scan of active IP address. This is used to determine which ports and services are available. Examples for port scanners, we have the Nmap. Okay, very common. We have also the Angry IP scanner, NetScan tools. You can also run vulnerability scanners to query the identified ports to determine the type of version, application, or operating system that is running on the host. Example is Sniper, Core Impact, Saint, OpenVAS. Okay, or run exploitation tools. Threat actor can now attempt to discover vulnerability services that can exploit a variety of vulnerability exploitation tools exist, including Metaexploit, Core Impact, SQL Map, Social Engineering Toolkit, and NetSpark. So another video also about access and social engineering. So access attack exploit known vulnerabilities of authentication services like FTP services and web services. The purpose of these types of attack is to gain entry to web accounts, confidential databases, and other sensitive information. Threat actors uses access attacks on network device and computers to retrieve data, gain access, and escalate access privilege to administrator password or full control of the device. So in password attack, the threat actor attempts to discover the critical system password using various methods. Password attack are very common and can be launched using a variety of password cracking tools. For spoofing attack, threat actor device attempt at post as another device by falsifying data. Common spoofing attack include IP spoofing, MAC spoofing, DHCP spoofing. Okay, these spoofing attacks will be discussed in more detail later on the module. So other access attacks include trust exploitation, port redirection, man in the middle, and buffer overflow attacks. Social engineering is an attack that attempts to manipulate individuals into performing action, divulging confidential information. Some use social engineering techniques are performed in person, while others may use a telephone or internet. Okay, social engineers often rely on people's willingness to be helpful. They also prey on the people weaknesses. Okay? Kita mo itong mga kanang pang post ani kadapit ang scammer, nakuan sila, nailhan sila, usually kasagaran nila nasa India. Okay? They usually call someone katong kanang mga gillable mga person, okay, na dali ra mailad, ilang tawagan, then they would ask na kailangan i-reset nilang PIN number, silang bank account, kailangan nila i-reset, they need to send the OTP numbers, mga naana. So these are those type of mga engineering attacks. Okay? So nagay tao ang initiation ba kay tao to tao gid. Okay? Dili gid sa application or device or sa vulnerabilities mga devices. Okay? So maraming siya gitawag ka ng mambudol ba? Kaya ito mangilad sa dala na. So engineering attacks here, the list of example, we have pretexting. Threat actors pretend to need the personal or financial data to confirm the identity of the recipient. Okay. You have the phishing also. Actor sends fraudulent email which is disguised as being from legitimate trusted source or to trick the recipient to installing malware on the device or share personal or financial information. We have also the spear phishing. A threat actor creates a target of phishing attack that tailored for specific user, okay, or individual or organization. We have also the spam, which are known as junk mail, patong Gmail. This is unsolicited email which often contains harmful link, malware, and deceptive content. So that's why if you look sa imong junk folder, usually makakita ka dito mga email title like you're granted with loan, okay, you won a lottery, di ba? So, paano na siya? Dapat you need to be aware na kana ilad gina siya. Okay? So how would you won a lottery even though wa ka ni palit or wa ka ning join, di ba? How could you avail a loan if wa ka di apply na loan, di ba? Next is something for something, so-called quid pro quo. This is when the threat actor requests personal information from a party exchange for something such as a gift. We have also the baiting. Threat actor leaves a malware-infected flash drive in a public location. A victim finds a drive, then unsuspectedly insert it to their laptop. So unintentionally installing a malware. Okay. Kung kita kay mong USB na dili inyo, don't plug in your computer. Ha? Impersonation. This type of attack is where the threat actor pretends to be someone they are not to gain trust of the victim. You have also the tailgating. Who is a threat actor quickly follows an authorized person into a secure location to gain access to a secure area. We have also the shoulder surfing. This is where the threat actors inconspicuously look over to someone's shoulder to steal their password or other information. We have also the diving. This is where the threat actor rummages through train bins to discover confidential documents. Okay. So wala man kayo sa to Andre, diving. Shoulder noon kanang I know on if ever you're going to log into certain site or access site or mo log in ka sa mong Facebook na naka sa jeep, naka sa public places, your password could be kuan mo god known sa imong mga tupad. Okay, so mo na siya tawag mga social engineering. At mga tawag sa na social engineering toolkit was designed to help white hackers and other network security professionals to create social engineering attacks to test their own networks. So enterprise must educate their users about the risks of social engineering and develop strategies to validate identities over the phone, email, or in person. The figure shows recommended practices that should be followed by all user. Okay, so if you want to be protected by social engineering attacks, so never give your password username to anyone. Okay, even sa imong uyab, never leave your username password credential where they can easily be found. Do not write it down on the paper. Uh, let's save it in your kanang mga notes in your phone. Okay. Never open emails from untrusted sources. Okay. Never release work-related information on social media site. Okay. Never reuse work-related password. Always lock or sign out your computer when unattended or whenever you're going to leave na. Okay, so for same sa yung laboratory, you don't want your data to be compromised because if you leave lang ka diretso, then yung computer is naka-open, ang musun siguro, pwede na delete on yung file because wala man na log out. Always report suspicious individual. Always destroy confidential information according to organizational policy. Okay, so there will be also a video of denial of service attack, which is this is very uh, informative tayo about sa DDoS, denial of service. So denial of service attack creates some sort of interruption of a network service to user devices or application. There are two major types of denial of service. You have the overwhelming quantity of traffic. So the threat actor sends an enormous quantity of data at a rate that the network, host, or application cannot handle. This causes transmission and response times to slow down. It can also crash a device or a service. Okay, so overwhelming your traffic sa imong destination, for example, especially if the service is only running on a single server or wala siya redundancy, okay, wala siya load balancer, okay, what will happen is ma-overwhelm na siya. Okay, so too many requests katong mga legit na ni-request pa dong sa atong server, dili na mga kuan. Ma-queue up siya because there are a lot of naka-queue daan or there are a lot of continued traffic requesting the same type of data. Okay. We have also the malicious formatted packets. Threat actor sends malicious formatted packet to a host or application and receiver is unable to handle it, this causes the receiving device to run very slow. Okay, kumano siya mo lag. Okay, denial of service are the major risk because they interrupt the communication, cause significant loss of time and money. These attacks are relatively simple to conduct, even an unskilled threat actor. Okay, you have also have the DDoS, which is distributed denial of service, similar to the OS attack, but it originates from multiple coordinates of sources. Okay, okay. So let's stop from that part. 3.5. Okay, any question? Anyone? So by the way, we're going to have a online exam right now sa OSPF. Okay, sakto 9:30. Question. Anybody? Okay, so kindly check the kuan. Kindly check the OSPF concept and configuration. So the exam should be activated ta. Okay? But before that, mag-attendance ta. Okay? Okay, attendance ta. Amoro,
Amara present.
Hapas,
Present, sir.
Apura,
Present, sir.
Quezon, Babatuan,
Present, sir.
Lon, Baring,
Present Mandalon, sir.
Verdun,
Burton present.
Bermudez, Boha,
Present bukas sir.
Volante,
Volante present, sir.
Caba, Kumahik, Dupla,
Dupla present, sir.
Epe,
AP present, sir.
Istaniel, Stardo,
Start the present, sir.
Fernandez,
Fernandez present, sir.
Gabasa,
Present, sir.
Godines,
Is present, sir.
Honjo,
Present,
Honyo,
sir.
Honjo, no? Avelona,
Present, sir.
Labajo,
Present, sir.
Lukmong,
Lokmang present, sir.
Mercado,
Mercado present, sir.
Nineria, Jimpol Nineria, Ochea, Umpad,
Umpad, sir, na.
Ura-
Chia, sir. Present, sir.
Urakoy,
Present, sir.
Pakibot,
Present, sir.
Present. Oracle present.
Perpetua, Piamonte,
Present, sir.
Boras,
Present, sir.
Rohimo,
Present, sir.
Remolano,
Ramalana present, sir.
Rivera,
Present, sir.
Rosal, Salido, Soliano, Campos, Villaver,
Labor present, sir.
Basmayor, Sinisa, Dagala,
Present, sir. Nagana, sir.
Gonzales,
Gonzalo, sir, present.
Puerto.
Present, sir.
Okay, so right now, ang atong Module 1 to 2 OSPF concept and configuration is
Mas mayor
already
present, sir.
active. Sorry, Basmayor?
Na, sir, na end call ako, sir.
Okay, so sa remaining time na to, you have to take this Module 1 to 2 OSPF concept and configuration exam. Okay? Any other question? So thank you for joining. So good luck sa online exam.